Welcome back to my channel. In exams, you can't take your notes in, unfortunately. Gone are the days of online exams all the time, although if you still have them, you're really lucky. So to those of us who don't have online exams anymore and you have to go into the exam hall, I want to share some of the tips and experiences that I've had as a sociology A-level and university student to help you along the way. Then these are for you. It's really hard sometimes to know exactly which notes to review, what to learn, because there's so much content that you've learned over the years, and how are you supposed to fit this all into your brain? Now, my advice is to not try and learn everything. Instead, go over the key points. What are the topics that you have learned? For example, beliefs in society. If you're in A-level, sift out these big major topics. And if you're in university, go through your modules. What were the key categories? What were the titles for the week? And these are likely major themes that are going to be assessed in your exams. So with that out of the way, you want to identify these themes, go through your notes, highlight key sociologists, key theorists, and their key points. The trick is not to try and remember everything, because this is just only going to stress you out even more. And now, secondly, you're going to want to practice for the exams, because actually half the battle is knowing the content. The second half of the battle is actually knowing how to structure your time to complete that exam within those 2 hours, 1.5 hours, however long you have. Go and look through past papers if there are any. I know this is generic advice, but it really helped me just to calm my mind, knowing that I can answer a question within that set amount of time. So I would advise you to go slowly. Find as many past papers as you can, kind of block out, 2 days for each, especially when you're first starting to practice, because it's going to be new for you. It's going to be intimidating, it's going to feel scary. So give yourself all the time and grace that you need when you're first getting into this process. I have a whole video dedicated for answering essays in the format of A-level AQA exams. So definitely watch that video if you want like a whole detailed breakdown and an example essay that I write together with you in the video. However, I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown here. So you want to look at the paper, look how many questions there are, think about the time you're going to have, and break down and work backwards. But when you're first starting out, you just want to familiarize yourself with the structure of the questions and how many points you need in order to hit those marks that you're going to want, whether it's 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 markers, etc. But for university questions, it's going to be slightly different. It's going to be about how good is your analysis, how good is your evaluation, right? And this is applicable for A-level as well. So, for longer questions, you want to be familiar with the types of analysis that you can do, which is often seeing the other side of the point. So when I talked about in my last point, saying how you should familiarize yourself with the key theorists, their key points, you also want to make sure you have points contrary to that, so you can evaluate them and show that you're really engaging with it. And even better, you have real world examples to connect those with, to make sure that you're showing that you're really aware of how these connect to the real world. But also, of course, most importantly, look at your mark scheme. This might be difficult to get hold of, so definitely get in contact with your teacher or lecturer to make sure you have that at the top of your mind. For A-level specific tips, I would condense everything into little memorable chunks and talk it over with a friend, figure out your way of revising that works for you, and talk about, why these things are important, how they're important, debate them. And the more you explain and debate things, the better it's going to sink into your head. For university specific advice, it's going to feel quite pressuring when you're in that hall doing a university exam. However, it's important to know that although of course they care about the points you're making, they want to make sure that you've actually absorbed the things that you have learned in your lectures, they're also interested about your own opinion and how you actually bring something that's different and elevate your argument to the next level. This is why I'm saying that knowing something in real life, real life examples for those specific topics that might be assessed in the exam is really important, so that you make sure that you're covering all the grounds, elevating your arguments, and smashing that mark scheme. And all in all, just some pep talk advice. I would say don't worry about it, which is the most cringe cliche advice I can ever give. You are doing the best that you can. As long as you do your best, no one can ask any more of you. I found that really helpful and calming, especially just before the exam when, the stress is rising. So I just want to say you got this. If you've got any more questions about A-level university exams for sociology, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to help as much as I can. But with all that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!